Hello, everyone, and today I'll talk about my final project presentation and my topics about social norms and how people behave in everyday spaces. I did my observation at the Brock Student Center on campus. So, as I just mentioned, I chose the Brock Student Center because it's a very busy place with many different activities happening at the same time, and I could also see students going there to eat, to study, to relax, or just talk with their friends, and also because it's the place that I work, so it's the one of the beauties at the on campus that I know most. So I know every place that I could go to observe something exactly what I want, and I was interested to see how people act in this type of environment, especially because it's a place where social and academic life mix all together. Um, my research, my main objective of the research was to understand how people behave in this environment. I wanted to see how people act different depending on the space they're in. Like if I go, I see how people act in the cafeteria, so how people act in the bookstore, or how people act on the hallways of the building, how the people act on the student activities. That's the place that I work. So I also wanted to understand how the environment influences their behavior. Like if something go wrong with their orders on the cafeteria, or they couldn't find a book in the bookstore, or couldn't find any product in the bookstore. So yeah, the method this project for this project I used a non-participational no participant observation. I didn't interact with people, and I only observed and took notes. I stayed at the student center for about 1 hour or 30 minutes per day after after my work, and I tried to sit in a quiet place and not attract attention, so people would behave normally and not change too much because of me. Um, During my observation, I noticed that people behave differently depending on the space. Like in the cafeteria, the environment was loud and busy. Students were eating, talking, laughing, and ordering food. For example, I remember one time when I saw a group of students using their laptops, and they could order something from the laptop and discuss their homeworks together all at the same time, only using their laptops, and it was really funny. In the bookstore, the environment was more quiet and organized. People were speaking softly, moving slowly, focusing on more like what they're looking for, like the type of books they're looking for, or the type of products they're looking for. And in the hallways, like most of the building, they're like the tables where they can sit and talk with their friends. Most people are walking fast to go to class, but sometimes they stop to talk or look at the posters that I helped to put them in that, by the way. I also noticed small behaviors like people lowering their voice, moving chairs to help each other, and respecting personal space. From these observations, I think that people change their behavior depending on the environment. Like in sociology, like we learn about social norms, which are the unwritten rules of how people should act. For example, in the cafeteria, people feel more comfortable to talk and laugh, but in the bookstore, people act more quiet and respectful. They try to don't be loud because it's a place to don't be loud. You can be, but Like there's a whole building for you to talk with friends, laugh. You won't do it in the bookstore, you know? I also noticed that some students and staff has more relationships. Like when a worker recognizes students and says, like, "You like the usual," this shows a sense of community in the space. So in conclusion, this observation helped me to understand how people behave in shared space. I learned that people act different depending on the environment and that social norms are very important in everyday life. And the Barak Student Center is not only a place for eating or studying, but also a place where people connect and build memories. That's it. Thank you.